Ozzy Goes Under the Blade, we have releases from Living Wreckage, Kreator, and Lamb of God. We go all the way back to 1985 and 1991 for this week's Back in the Day. Welcome to episode 87 of the Thrash Report. Hey everyone, welcome. This is Chris. You're going to get just me this week, and I'm really excited to jump into this week's headlines. The big thing we got to talk about this week is Ozzy Osbourne. He's been going in for some major surgery, and this is what Sharon had to say about it.
So Sharon, the news is that you're heading back to LA, and I'm sorry to hear that Ozzy's got a big operation coming up as well.
He does. He has a very major operation on Monday, and I have to be there. It's really going to determine the rest of, his life. So,
wow, that's again, I'm a huge Ozzy fan. I really wish him all the best. You know that he did have some complications in the past. So we know that he fell and aggravated a previous injury that he had. Again, we don't know exactly what he's going in for. We believe it's neck surgery. This is really interesting. Is if you look here, it talks about, this is from Billboard. It actually talks about how in 2003 he was in an ATV accident, and then when he fell at home in 2019, he dislodged some metal rods, and he had like 15 screws placed into his spine. That just sounds crazy to me. Again, we wish him all the best. Hopefully that there is a speedy recovery, and we'll definitely keep you up to date if there's any updates next week. I believe surgery happens, it would be tomorrow. This would be on June 13th. Again, we wish him all the best. That's all we got for headlines this week. Let's go ahead and jump into new releases. We got some really fun stuff to talk about. The first thing that we're going to talk about is Lamb of God. They have official release of a new video called Nevermore. This is the first track off of their up-and-coming album Omens that is scheduled to be released in October on Epic Records. And Randy goes to talk about how the world just keeps on changing, and Omens, that album, is really a reaction to the state of the world today. And he said it's a really pissed off record, So let's go ahead and give this first look into Nevermore. Definitely has some groove to it. I'm excited for that one. This next one, again, people that have listened to the Thrash Report know that I'm a fan of Five Finger Death Punch. They actually have a new single that dropped called "Welcome to the Circus." This is the opening track for the album Afterlife, which is due out August 19th of this year. Interesting thing is that Afterlife, again, that single that dropped, it actually was their 8th consecutive number one singles on the mainstream rock charts. But yeah, I'm a fan of Five Finger. Let's go ahead and check out this new single, "Welcome to the Circus." Yeah, I think that it's the same formula. We know that, but I think it's got catchy hooks. Again, I'm a fan. I think it's pretty good. I listened to some of their older stuff last week, and Way of the Fist and This Means War. Definitely amazing albums back in the day. As we shift gears to Kreator, kind of Germany's thrash leader, they have a new video that dropped for their latest track called Become Immortal. And it's kind of looking back through their career. I kind of like it. It's kind of an homage back to the OG thrash. This coming from their latest album that just dropped June 10th from Nuclear Blast. And this is their 15th studio album, Hate Uber Alice. Don't know if I'm saying that right. And one thing that was said recently in a Metal Hammer interview is that, the only way to keep the passion and energy levels high is to really believe in what they do. And it truly is evident with their new release. Let's go ahead and give this a look. This has Become Immortal. Kind of reminds me of Back in the Day from Megadeth. Now, as we look at the new Gwar album, now, as a Gwar fan, definitely the late 80s, early 90s, huge Gwar fan. Saw him dozens of times, literally dozens of times. I have my contact lenses stained red from the live shows. I was a huge fan. I got to tell you, recently they just seem to really... It's a little weak, I don't know. I guess I'm disappointed. This new release, they have their album that just dropped called The New Dark Ages. This is the concept album that is a companion to the graphic novel that was just released called The Duoverse of Absurdity. It is also their 15th studio album. Kerrang went on to say is that since the death of David Brockie in 2014, they really feel as though they've shifted really away from recorded output into more of their live show and live performance. So to me, especially listening to this newest one, even though they have guest vocalists from people like Lizzie Hale in one of the tracks, it just really is kind of weak compared to America Must Be Destroyed and Scumdogs and This Toilet Earth. Some of those earlier albums that really had more of a thrashy feel. A lot more, I think, care went into the songwriting for me. But let's go ahead and give this one. This one is Ratcatcher. I don't know, like a hard rock kind of a feel to it. This next one I'm probably most excited about. This is, we now have a release date for a full self-titled studio album by Living Wreckage. That'll be out September 23rd via M Theory Audio. Living Wreckage, as you probably already know, John Donay and Matt Backend, I believe. Backend. I don't know. They're both from Shadows Fall, but this is absolutely one of the greatest singles that they've released thus far. This is a new single called Endless War, and as they went on to say, with Endless War, they really wanted to have a straightforward, just thrasher. The song shows more of an aggressive side of what they have done with their previous release called One Foot in the Grave, and the other single called Breaking Point. I'm excited. I look forward to this full album. Let's go ahead and give this a listen. This is the new single, Endless War by Living Wreckage. Dude, I'm stoked. That's going to be good. Looking forward to Living Wreckage. Let's go ahead now and shift gears to concert calendar. We had a lot of stuff to talk about. One of the first ones I just want to mention is Accept. They just dropped their Too Mean to Die tour. Of course, they skip Minneapolis for whatever reason. I know that they are going to the Rave, one of my favorite venues in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I was super excited when this album dropped, just to kind of see where they were going, what direction they were headed. You know, they've been just, definitely old school, been around forever. It was okay. It something that I didn't really see myself going back to. But in case you're interested, we have Accept hitting the road with Narcotic Wasteland. And if we look at some other shows, Municipal Waste is going to be hitting the road. They're going to be here in Minneapolis at the Fine Line coming up here in a couple weeks. And then they're with Integrity and Bewitcher as the support for that show. We talk a little bit about some festival shows. Rockfest is one that I've been to several times. Just a reminder, they still have some general admission tickets available. So if you want to go check out Rockfest, again, they're going to have Lamb of God, Hailstorm, Disturbed, Mudvayne, which would be pretty cool seeing Mudvayne live. I never got to see them live. But I will not be at this particular show this year. It was sold out wicked fast. I mean, it's sold out even before. I shouldn't say that. The reserved lawn seats. They sold out before the lineup was even announced. The next show is Anvil. If you want to go get your dose of Lips, you can go see Lips. Canadian rockers. They're going to be in town with Midnight Hellion and White Wizard. They're going to be at the Turf Club here in St. Paul. So, if you want to get a toast or get a taste of some old school thrash, go ahead and check out Anvil. Then we got some local-ish presented by Midwest Metal Promotions. You can see here the first one is Midwest Deathfest. That's coming up next weekend with Putrid Pile. Our friends Gorgatron are going to be there, and Agony Reigns. We've had both of them on the show. Agony Reigns, super cool guys. And then Maul. You've heard us talk about them in the past as well. We want to make sure you check that out. That's at the Amsterdam Bar in St. Paul. And then we also have Slam Dakota. This is the Slam Dakota Deathfest 5, the 5th annual. This is coming up here in August, that weekend. And again, Gorgatron will also be there with all of these other bands. 2 days. It is going to be brutal. So super excited for that show. I'm not sure yet if I will be able to make it, but it's definitely on the calendar. The next one I already got tickets for. Just a reminder, if you don't have tickets, make sure you get yours now because it will be sold out, I'm sure. We got Anthrax headlining for their 40th anniversary with Black Label Society and Hatebreed as the opener. I've never seen Black Label Society, so I'm pretty excited to see what they bring. Now let's go ahead and take a look at back in the day. We're going to jump all the way back to 1991 for this one. This is Skid Row, Slave to the Grind. This was released in 1991 on June 11th, and it was one of their edgier or heavier albums with their title track, Slave to the Grind. This is the second single that came off that album. The song, was written by Sebastian Bach and Dave the Snake Sabo, but it only reached number 47 on the UK single charts. The video got heavy rotation on MTV. It just really wasn't that successful, even though it is one of my favorite Skid Row tracks. Go ahead and give this a listen. Yeah, man. This next one, we're going back to 1985, 37 years ago on June 12th. Megadeth dropped their debut album on Combat Records called Killing Is My Business. The band was forced actually to fire their original producer. They produced the album by themselves with like $8,000, and after spending half the album's budget on drugs, food, alcohol, it really had poor production value. Even though it had poor production value, the album was really well received, and it obtained strong reviews all across the music and media publications. Killing Is My Business and Business Is Good. It really played out to be an essential role in establishing the thrash metal genre back in the mid-1980s. Here is live from way back when, Megadeth. This next one, we're going to go back to 1991 again with Type O Negative. Yeah, their debut studio album, what they deemed as kind of a gothic metal band, right? On Roadrunner Records. The album, originally titled None More Negative, was the band's former name was called Repulsion, and that was released in 1990, but it really did launch the band's career. Again, we all know the late Peter Steele, super cool dude, passed in 2010. I was a huge Type O Negative fan. This album came out, I listened to this over and over and over and over again. One of those where I had the cassette and I started to wear off the writing on the cassette. Here is, again, Unsuccessfully Coping with the Natural Beauty of Infidelity. Dude, so good. Brings back so many memories. Absolutely. Hey, I want to thank everyone for hanging out with me this week. Please follow wherever you get your podcast. We want to thank everyone there. Make sure you go to thrashreport.com to get all of our socials. We want to hear from you. The Thrash Report at gmail.com. Please like and subscribe on this video. Make sure you smash that bell to get notified whenever we upload new videos. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time on The Thrash Report.